my name is Virginia, aka Gigi.
I'm Victoria.
And this is Mika.
And this is
A Word at the Table. And we have a very special guest.
Oh, we have Andrea. We are a huge fan of your podcast. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
That's always such a hard thing to do, right? So you don't say much about yourself like other people would. So my name is Andrea. I live in Miami, Florida. I do operate a podcast. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. I'm just a lover of Christ. I love God. And and that's it.
Amen.
I remember you had this one line that it was like, if you don't deal with the pain of your past, that pain's gonna deal with you. I had to write it down. When you don't deal with your hurt, your pain will begin to deal with you. I was like, now this is a woman. She is like the like part of like our tribe, I guess. Like, oh my gosh, like I love the way that you incorporate faith, therapy, and just like wellness together, and your voice is so soothing. Like I love
On
it.
top of all of that,
thank you.
The name of your podcast?
It's My Turtle Doves Asylum.
Nice.
Available on Spotify and Anchor.
Yeah, I love how you call it. When you start the podcast, you have a name for us. You're like,
it's our
Hi, my turtle doves. And it had that opening has its own story in itself. But yeah.
Happy belated birthday again.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I got a gift today. I thought that it was over, but I got a gift today, and it was so awesome. It was so awesome. I think that it was a shirt. The shirt said, "This woman has been through enough fires that should have took her out, but God," or something of that sort. And I was like, "Girl, you put your heart in this gift." It was nice.
Yeah,
it was so nice.
That's awesome.
It's always nice to take another trip around the sun.
Yeah,
it's a blessing.
So I do have an icebreaker. I don't know if it goes into the topic.
No, that's perfect.
But the icebreaker is, what keeps you up at night?
Literally
me. No, in general, anyone can answer. What
I was like, come on now. I'll tell you, but why you had to? I'll tell you, but why you had to do me like that?
Everybody on your show. Say for me, like usually just the busyness of like life. Even like the next day, I'll be thinking about things I gotta do. So I would say that, but eventually I fall asleep. I go to bed.
Weirdly enough, I feel like I'm like slightly narcoleptic. Like it doesn't when it's bedtime. When it's bedtime, Vicky.
No, that's so true.
I don't know. Like when people be like, "Oh, I was so stressed, I couldn't sleep." I don't know. Like,
what? I can't identify with that.
Yeah. No, Vicky has slept through like concerts, comedy shows.
Yeah.
That's me. When I go to sleep, I go to sleep.
Knocked out. Even when like in college, people will be like, "Oh, I'm gonna pull an all-nighter." I'm like, yeah. And then, like I just wake up. I'm like, "Oh, it's 8 a.m.
Oh man, I tried to pull an all-nighter. Didn't quite work out. My answer is not as that's why I was like, why you gotta do me like that? So a few years ago I used to have real bad issues with sleep, and it used to give me headaches. And in the Bible there's a scripture that talks about how he will give you rest. And this was me challenging him. God, you said, and I told him, and that's what I told me. Can you tell me? Bring me into remembrance of our word. God, you said that you would give me rest. Oh, come to me who are heavy laden. And I went to him and I said, I don't want another sleepless night. And so after that, like I got the dropsies. I'll go to sleep. Like I'll just be sitting here, not in the middle of conversation or nothing like that. But if nobody's speaking to me, or maybe I'm disassociated with whatever's going on in the room, I'm going to sleep. But I'm going to wake up maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. And
Mm.
that's usually when God's like, come talk to me. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
bro. That's like the
you wait till
praying
7 o'clock. You can't wait
Yeah.
till 7 o'clock. I can't. And then it's like you can't go back to sleep. And it's just so and then I'm a dreamer. I dream a lot. So I always like to wake up and write it down. Maybe this is one that'll manifest in 2 months, and usually they do. But that's the thing that keeps me up at night. Usually my papa daddy. And Papa Daddy is, our Father, God. He's the one who usually like and he's like, yeah, come talk to me real quick.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Aw. Anything for you, Mika?
The babies. I'm joking.
My babies.
Right now, that's what it is. In this season, it's the babies. But before I never really had trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. During pregnancy this past year, I had a lot of like just thoughts of being anxious about what's to come. That kept me up.
Mhm.
So, but I think like my normal is, thankfully, by the grace of God, I don't have trouble sleeping or falling asleep or staying asleep.
Well,
Nice.
God bless you.
I don't play about my rest. So I think it's because
God
like
bless you.
I do rest so much that if something happens to my rest, I would just be like, what? Why? I don't.
Mm.
We're gonna dub you Sleeping Beauty. That's what we're gonna dub you Sleeping Beauty, because I got to get my rest. That's
Same.
that's what I heard coming from you just now.
Mm.
I know that verse too. I was like, I love that verse. I think it's like Matthew 11:29. It's like, I will give thee rest. You
Mm.
That
know,
you won't get me to tell you specifically where it is. I can quote it like the back of my hand.
because you were like, Lord, you said.
Look, because I was exhausted. I think I was going on like my fifth night, sir. I'm not, sometimes you have sleepless nights because you're stressed out, or some people have sleepless nights because they're stressed out or worried or anxious about what's going to happen the next day. And it was none of that. I just can't, God, I can't go to sleep. I need you to help me. And that's usually how I, not like you said, kind of challenging him, but you said like, Daddy, you promised. And that's usually how I approach him. I don't approach him as, God. I know that that's who he is, but when I talk to him, I call him Dad. That's exactly how I talk. And I was like, Daddy, you promised. And after that, he said, well, since you look, you reminded me, okay, go to sleep. So
I love that
now
too.
it's just like,
I really do think God loves when you do speak the word back to him too.
Oh,
So he's like, oh, like the promises and you have faith in me, So I definitely think that that's key. Like especially even if like with us, like if I speak something back to you that you told me, you know that I was listening, you know that I was
yes,
coherent,
ma'am.
like believing what you had to say. Yeah. So
This is the same God that says that the heaven and earth will fall away before 1 ounce of my word drop to the ground. So that's why he said, just bring, not that he don't remember. He remember. He want to know if you know.
right.
Tell me what you know. You
Mm.
know. So it's not even bring me in remembrance because I forgot. Bring me in remembrance because I promised you, but let me know if you know the promise.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So we broke the ice.
Yeah. I think that's a good segue into our topic because mental health triggers. And
Mhm.
I know I said like the outline, but just kind of make it loose and talk about like what we want to talk about, especially because we were like talking about like in-depth gems before. Now we weren't recording, but whatever.
So I figured that we would start. I mentioned it to Mika, right? Or was it Victoria? About the actual definition
Yes.
of the word.
Mhm.
Because we use word and they have songs out there that talks about being triggered, and it seems like that's something that people want to rest in, being triggered. Why would you want to rest into something that's I don't know if you guys ever heard of flight or fight mode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then
Um
there's like
and
flight
you
mode
just
or freeze.
and your body don't know what it wants to do. And when you're triggered, you actually put yourself in fight or flight mode. You don't know whether you should fight or run, you know. And I don't think that being triggered is cute. And that's just to be honest and curt about it. So it makes you wonder, do you know what you're saying? Do you know the words that you're professing over your life? Do you know what you're identifying as? Do you know what you're speaking over yourself? You know?
Okay.
So I thought that if we could just start with the definition, and I said, you know, I know when I'm getting old. You know you're getting old when you got a favorite dictionary. My favorite dictionary is Merriam-Webster. So we all know I'm not co-signing it, but I do like the Webster dictionary because it gives you like goes in depth of what the definition of the word is. So if I can just read the definition that I have here. It says that triggered is to cause an intense and usually negative emotional reaction in someone. So you walking around talking about, I got negative emotions, I'm triggered. That's why there's nothing cute about that. And I do believe that the whole idea of recognizing the trigger and the fact that you're triggered is to find healthy coping mechanisms and soothing in ways so that that trigger does not control your life, because you can be so triggered that you can't even stay in the room anymore. And I need to go ahead.
Especially like younger people, well, you know, most people that like to use that buzzword, they'll just say it and like kind of like announce like, oh, I don't like this.
I'm triggered. Like, this is triggering me.
Yeah, so you're not okay, so you learned the word, but you didn't learn any coping mechanisms. Like you just want everybody to know you're upset. Okay, all right.
And you use the example. What if yelling triggers you? And now every time someone yells, you can't be there anymore. You know, that means you're not going to be able to be anywhere where there's yelling. And sometimes yelling is part of life.
Right.
And you can't make the world mold to you. Like, okay, you're triggered by yelling, and it could be absolutely valid. Like, I don't love when people, you know, yell up in my face, but like, you're just gonna fold under that. Like, in my eyes, I always feel like a trigger is like a test. I remember I was telling you about that before.
Right.
So you're gonna constantly fail that test, girl. Like you're just always gonna be like, oh, it's just always gonna have power over you. Like,
right, you shouldn't stay in that triggered
state. It's good that you recognize that at least. But
not a goal. It's not. It's not. That's all. It's not cute. And you learn a word. You learn this word like toxic. In Spanish, I was riding home from church this afternoon, and the guy had a sticker. It was in Spanish, and it says, "This driver is married, and he doesn't really want to talk much." And then it said, "Sign la tóxica," which is the toxic woman.
Wow,
that's so cute.
That's, you know, like what. Okay. You know, nothing is
put it on that bumper sticker.
And I did share with you, and I will share that and I'm not going to say had, I'm going to say have. I have quite a few triggers, and this is a transparent, because I'm transparent Tracy. That's what I call myself sometimes. I have quite a few triggers, right? Because I've, you know, whatever, been through a lot, but that's neither here nor there. But one thing about being triggered is that you physically can feel that you're being triggered, which means that you know you can have different things that it makes you anxious, it makes your stomach hurt, you start sweating, it makes you feel like you're gonna pass out, and it literally like makes you feel like you want to run. You want to run, and nobody's chasing you. So imagine having this physical reaction, and you just announce it, and you just sit in it. You rest in all of these things, right? Which you said, if you don't deal with it, it'll start to deal with you. So what happens is that it manifests into physical sickness, because your heart starts racing and now your heart is working harder than it should. Your heart's not supposed to work that hard, and then it starts causing acid reflux and it starts causing it can harm you physically to be triggered 100% of the time. So what are you going to do to assist? And one of the things that I shared is that I have to tell myself, I have to ask myself first, are you in imminent danger? Is there something, is this something that's happening, or something you think is going to happen, or something that happened?
Mm.
You know, are you living in the present, the past, or the future? You know,
Mm.
because most of the time that you're anxious or triggered is because of you feel like this feels like something that happened back then. You
Mm.
know, someone says something to me, they're talking to me normal. They're telling me that I made a mistake. However, what you did was just triggered back then when I used to get in trouble and they yelled at me or they beat me or I got punished. Or I'm afraid that you're going to beat me or punish me. So you're not even living in the right now, because right now you're safe, you know? So I have to tell myself that I'm safe. This is not um, something that's going to harm me. This is actually a coaching moment, you know, and those are some of the things that you do so that you can mentally assert that I'm okay right now. I'm triggered because of this. I've identified the trigger. Now I'm telling myself that I'm okay. And then if you are in imminent danger, right, that's where you just remove yourself from the situation.
Mm.
You know, this guy's yelling at me. He looked like he's about to hit me. Now this is where you go into flight mode, you know? Now it's time to go into flight, run, you know? So that it's not cute.
But you already identified like 2 extra steps that I know, like regular people, like you can identify, oh, when I'm triggered, I don't like this, I feel nauseous, I feel sick, this, that, and the third. But when you actually identify what triggered you, like, how can you either remove yourself from the situation? 2 extra steps right there that like that can really alleviate a situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
think
it is, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just
I
gonna
feel like I've been talking too much.
I was just gonna say that I think it could be a combination of different things sometimes, because it could be someone actually like hurting you, but then it could also be very layered where you're taking it to the extreme. You're pitting this person and attaching it to your dad who said something to you when you were
It's always like
8,
that, yeah.
or you're attaching it to something your mom said when you were like a kid, and it's like you got to learn how to like separate the two. Like it could be someone doing something that did trigger you, that did hurt your feelings, but don't attach it to all of your pain from your past. Like don't let all of your pain time travel to you with you to the present. So I think like it could be either or, and it just recognize what it is, like you were saying, just being aware of what exactly is going on and what you should do in the process. Yeah.
Like I said, I hear God all the time saying, sis, this ain't that. Literally just like, this ain't that. This ain't that. This is what was said. You need to chew on. So hyper reactivity is when you react but extreme. No, no. So these are all things, and I think, like I always say, I thank God because I have the opportunity to work through these emotions and the things that I've been through, which I share. I don't mind sharing. I share it a lot, but some people don't have that opportunity, because you're so full. But that if you don't deal with it, it'll deal with you. So meaning that you have to take that time, just like you'll go to the gynecologist or the neurologist or you go to these different people. I believe that once, because if you get diagnosed with something today, they try to keep you in good spirits, because if your mind goes, then you following right behind it. So hyperreactivity is when you just react to something. You go from like 0 to 1,000 real quick. You are overly angry, overly happy, overly sad, and it's just like for no reason. Not saying that you're not angry for a valid reason, because let's face it, we get angry, things make us angry, things make us sad, but it shouldn't be so extreme that it just takes over your whole body. So you have to have a conversation. Like just how we're having a conversation. Like you can talk to, but you can't just have a conversation with just anybody. You have to talk to somebody. We don't know everything. Everybody doesn't know everything. Even therapists and psychologists don't know everything. But when you start to open your mouth and share, the person that you're talking to may be able to identify, yeah, that's not a normal reaction. You know, that's not how you should respond to that. You know, this person was just trying to share this with you and you're responding to that. And now let's identify why you responded that way. So I'll give you an example. When I first started therapy, I was under the Black people don't do that. You ain't crazy. You know,
craziness. Oh my God.
you ain't crazy. It's nothing wrong with you. You just need Jesus.
Like, help yourself.
So that was it. You just need Jesus. Now, I'm not going, hey, you right. Thank you for giving me that piece of advice. But, you know, so when the first session, she said something to me and I was like, this is stupid. And I don't talk to people like that. But before I know it, it had came out my mouth and she said, okay. And she said, her response was, okay. You know, just, she was like, come on, just give it to me. and then I said, eventually I said, this ain't gonna work. This not working. She said, when's the first time you felt that something didn't work? And I was like, when I was 11 years old. And she was like, what was that? And I said, I had spent my life trying to make the adults around me notice me.
Wow.
And I said that I was ironing clothes and I was waking up 5 o'clock in the morning and making breakfast and I was cleaning and I was doing everything I possibly could, working and, you know, going over here to file papers and get paid so I can do this and do that. And they didn't pay attention to me. And so before I know it, she had identified something and all she did was ask me a question.
Wow.
So it is to open up and share, but you don't want to share with someone who, like I said, we don't all know everything, you know, but you're sharing with someone. You need to ask God. We ask God for discernment. God, let me know if I should open up to this person. He always leads you to the right person who's been where you are or who's going through what you're going through or has the knowledge that you need. So sometimes it's just asking a simple question. You know, you walk in a room and you're frustrated and a person just asks you, how's your day? You know, and that simple how's your day and the wait for a response, because you know we say how are you and we just keep walking, and the person can be like, today was a bad day and all you heard was I'm okay. That's not what they said. So you know, just a simple how was your morning before you know you left your house this morning, and now they've identified why you're frustrated. So there's ways to identify, but it don't always feel good. I must admit.
That self-awareness can be
at all.
jarring.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear about themselves. You know, everybody's
at all.
You know, we think we're the ones like, you know, like what? Me? I'm not me. Like even actually my pastor today was talking about well actually no, it was another sermon. Sorry, not my pastor. But a pastor was talking about David and how, you know, how David had killed Bathsheba's man. Well, I'm sorry, Bathsheba's man. And like remember the like his prophet had to come to talk to him and was like, oh, you know, he told like a parable.
The man had a goat.
Yeah.
The one guy had a lot of goats, and this man only had one.
That. It was me. See a man like me.
So he said,
such a good man.
Who is this man? He should be put to death. The man is you, David.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He's like, wait a minute, don't kill me.
Yeah.
That
Uriah. Uriah. It was Uriah. That was the husband's name.
Yeah. Until Uriah, he was just being
I love me some King David.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So that just shows like how much God wants you to talk to him and wants you to have that relationship with him, because then he could work with you. If you just out here talking about I'm just perfect, he's not gonna be able to work with you and work through you. So
It's not that he don't know, he just wants you to come tell him.
Yeah, it's kind of like, how many times in the Bible God asks us like questions to make us self-aware? Like he knows the answer. It's just like I want you to come to like that realization.
The garden.
Yeah.
Right.
Where you at?
Yeah. But do you know where you at?
Come talk to me.
Yeah.
Come tell me all about it. What's wrong, baby?
And he's just that gentle too. The way you said it, like calming and gentle. He's like that. He's like super gentle and talking to you and coming to you. So
yeah.
It's not all there is talking and self-awareness. That's
That's
therapy.
all. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I recommend therapy for everybody. I would have you say, "Oh, he cheated on me," and you're not gonna leave, but you're finna stay there and try to make him miserable, and in turn, you're miserable because he living his regular life. You know, he's under the assumption that you forgave him. He might do it again. So when it's all said and done, is you need to make. I always say that in any relationship, even if it's not boyfriend and girlfriend, it can be friend, it can be mother daughter. You make sure that you're okay. And what I mean by make sure that you're okay is you need to identify your triggers, identify ways to, because we self-soothe, but we do it the wrong way. Self-soothing, eating, watching the wrong shows, being around the wrong people, doing the wrong drug, drinking. We find ways to self-soothe, and it's okay because what your body did was try to create a way to defend itself, right? It's okay because you did those things when you did not know that there's a such thing as healthy coping mechanisms and healthy soothing. You did what you knew best. So, forgive yourself for partaking in the unhealthy things. But you have to make sure that you're okay. If everything was to leave you right now, and the only thing that you was left with was you, do you like you? Are you okay with you? You know, who and it's not, I'm on a journey. That's that, like I am on a journey. I have bad days. And I call them bad days. They say, don't call it a bad day. You just not know it's a bad day. Today's a bad day. When I woke up this morning, I woke up at 3:30 and I told myself, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not going to church. That was my sentiment. And God was like, come on, come talk to me because you tripping. And you hear he talks to all of us the way we need to hear it. We all need to hear it a different way. Like, I don't know how so the stereotype of New Yorkers, and I'm going to use it right now, so forgive me. The stereotype is, yo, son, you know what I mean? Like if God needs to come down and say, yo, son, you mad bugging or whatever it is, if he has to say that to you, you would hear that. And it's like, oh, I'm bugging, yo. He talks to you how you need to be spoken to. So make sure that you are okay.
But like I remember I put that, like, because our social media is like kind of a time feed of what you want to see, right? It's supposed to be, at least. It's supposed to, they're supposed to figure out what you want to see, what you like, and this, that.
They told us it was.
But the study's shown
that's what they said.
The more you use it, the more screen time, the more depressed you can be, and this, that, and the third. So I just kind of wanted to have everybody's opinion. Like, why do you think what we want to see can be a trigger? Like, why do you think stuff? Because things that pop up on my timeline besides Christian memes or stuff like that, it's like group projects, like Pinterest projects. I always love seeing Black women get their hair done. I don't know why. It's just like a good braiding video is so relaxing to me. I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful. But it's just supposed to be curated stuff that I, like I look at, I'm supposed to see, I don't use it that much, but why do you think those topics can lead to people being sad and depressed?
I know for me, I had to step away from social media this year. Like, I think I uninstalled Instagram for like maybe a good 10 months or so. And I only got back on because I unbraided my hair and I needed to find my hairstylist that I forgot her phone number. So I was like, oh, let me get back on Instagram. But yeah, I found myself happier, and like I wasted less time when I like without when I have Instagram on my phone. I'll unlock my phone and I'll say, oh, I'm going to, I don't know, grocery shop, but I'll somehow end up on Instagram. And after a few minutes of being on there, something will just make me like, it will trigger different emotions. And then like I'll realize, okay, this is not where I'm supposed to be. So then I'll go back and do, like, I'll try to remember, well, why did I unlock my phone? So I don't know why it brings down that depression, or it brings on depression or depressive thoughts perhaps. But I think like I've noticed that, people also don't really present their real selves on social media. So that could be part of it. So if you're comparing yourself to others, you may see their highs, but you don't see their holistic life or holistic view on what they're going through. So you may be comparing yourself to their highs. So I don't know. For me, I see real people. So for me, like my timeline is mostly people that used to be in my life, and I no longer have a connection with them except on this platform. And I'm reminded of them when I open it up, and I'm like, not that I don't care about them, but it's like, you're so far removed from my life and my mind. Now I'm seeing this and I don't really need it. So, but that's just me.
On your point about like, you said you were gonna go shopping and then you just ended up on Instagram. I think that could be a part of it because of the fact that like it's so mindless. Like it's just
there you go.
Scroll.
There you go.
Scroll, and it's so mindless that you don't even realize like what's coming in. You don't even realize it until what you're taking in. Yeah. And then like at night you're like, why so sad all of a sudden? Yeah. Like, I think it's just because it's mindless scrolling. You don't even realize it.
I think there was this article I read, and there's another book that I read, Digital Minimalism. Or whatever. It's really good. It's just like, if you are feeling anxious or lazy or just all around a little unhappy, reduce screen time. They're like, don't even worry about why, just reduce your screen time, or whatever, right? And it's like, I always notice, I'm like, oh yeah, less anxious. So, but when I tell you what I look at I feel like it's harmless. Like, it's not like I don't even follow celebrities. Like I don't follow anybody who doesn't follow me. So everybody I follow, I know you. I know you. And either I know you or you are a small enough account that it's like, okay, cool. Like so I don't follow anything that would make me sad, yet me being off the platforms make me happier. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand, but whatever. Like,
two points. One is I've never created a TikTok. I don't plan to ever create one. People send me videos to watch. I ain't got time for that. But the only reason that I say that is not, I'm like I said, I'm not better. I'm a work in progress, so on and so forth, right? We go back to Bible. Bible says that you need to guard your ear gates and your eye gates. Guarding your ear gates and your eye gates mean you need to watch what you digest, because a simple seed turns into a tree. And before you know it, you have all of this stuff going on in your brain. You don't know why you saying period. In the middle of like you and so there was a point where, like, I don't have Facebook. I have Instagram. The reason that I only have Instagram is because it's just videos and pictures. And if I don't want to listen to it, I don't have to. If I don't want to, if I don't want to see it, I can just keep scrolling on Facebook. They made statuses, and there was like sneak dissing and a lot of stuff that was going on. So, um, the first point that I wanted to make was TikTok. China are the creators, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And if you look at a Chinese TikTok, you know, they have things about doctors and lawyers and different hacks on how to be a better human being in life. And they control the algorithm of what the people in China see on TikTok. Here you get to see all type of stuff. Mindless things, once again, that keep you distracted. You're distracted from your purpose. You're distracted from being intentional in life. You have to be intentional about what you do. So I call it a social media fast. I'll just delete the log out, delete the whole social media. And once you do that, you realize how many times you pick up your phone to go on social media, but you don't have the app no more. And I realized, oh, I just picked up my phone 10 times in the last 5 seconds, you know, to go on social media. And it's just, I don't, regarding like the depression, nobody, like you said, and the people who do is just weird to me, that just sit on social media and cry in their car. Like, it's, is it a cry for attention or a cry for help? And if you're crying for help, put the camera down and call somebody. Stop that. You know, because now what you have is 100,000 people that's commenting on your post and how you feel good because you got the attention.
Yeah, it's a cycle. It's a cycle.
You have the attention that you need, the adrenaline, the rush that you feel. Somebody told you was pretty. They liked your picture. You know, they liked your status. Somebody commented, oh, let me check how many comments I have. So people have started to associate real life with the likes and things of nature that you get. So life has gone from me showing up to your house to check on you, to me going to your Facebook page, and because I see you posted a picture of you smiling, you all right.
Wow.
I say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but rarely does it speak the truth.
That's good. That's deep.
So when she said that she deleted her social media, sometimes you have to step back because you start living life with other people, unbeknownst to you. You don't, like I said, being aware of how something made you feel.
Yeah.
You scroll past something and I'm sorry, Miss Meek, I'm gonna pick on you a little bit. Because you said that they're the furthest from your mind, but it makes you feel some type of way to see it.
Yeah, I mean that's
Nice.
that's what I realized. And I mean, like, I think I just uploaded Instagram again or downloaded it, whatever.
Either way, it's on your phone.
But like I don't, like, I could go a whole week and not open Instagram. Before, like you said, within 5 seconds, like I'd find myself picking my phone up 10 times. So I think removing myself from it, and like focusing on my reality helped me just not even be bothered by it anymore. But yeah, that became a thing for me. Like, why am I seeing these people that are not in my life post about mundane things like what I had for breakfast, or I'm jogging down this street? Like, for me, it was like, I don't need to know that. And it made me either feel like unhappy or just like, I don't care about you type of thoughts, which I don't like having about people, if that makes sense. Like, it just made me feel like I'm a careless person for human beings, and it made me feel bad about myself.
So one thing that I learned, and look, what I told my therapist, I said over the years that I've been in therapy, I use what I've learned on people all the time. So when I heard you say that, I just wanted to touch on that. And what she told me was, which she helped me identify, that once you have a relationship with somebody where you had conversations for multiple days at a time, and this person like is a part of your life, they don't have to be there every day, but you talk to them and you share things with them and you go back and forth, and all of a sudden that relationship is over. it's basically a mourning. Not that that person died, but you lost something. And she said that you can mourn a relationship with someone who's still alive. And she told me, because I would try to avoid it. I don't want to think about the person. I don't want to see the person, because when I do, I remember how we used to be so close, and I remember what you did. I forgive you because I was told that I should. It hurt a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, it still hurt a little bit. So what she said is that I had to start to deal with it. I had to start to, um, once I can look at this person and not feel any type of way, then not that I'm 100% healed, but I've accepted it. I've processed what happened. I've accepted fault in my part of what happened, you know, because you have to accept your part in a failed relationship. You wasn't just innocent the whole time. And I'm not talking about you particular. You know what I mean? Don't think I'm talking about you particularly. But that's another thing. So we have so I had this girl. Look, I don't mind telling my business. Look, I was I was with this guy. We was together for so many years. I actually ended up being pregnant from him, but he cheated on me with this girl. And this girl was like, we called each other sister, you know. I defended her, I hung out with her, and people talked about her, and I was like, hey, don't talk about her like that. And you know, they did whatever they did. And she requested me, and I accepted the request. Me and this guy, we broke up. You know, we never broke up because he was cheating on me again. He wasn't my husband, which I was like, I was out of order. So that was my part that I took. I was out of order because I was operating out of the will of God. I was tripping. So I had to accept my part in the failed relationship, right? So I'm not angry with him. To this day, we're best friends, you know. But she requested me. I accepted it. And then she inboxed me, and I was like, why is this girl talking to me? Like, what? Why is she, you know? And I had to realize that I had not forgiven her, and I was still angry with her. So I had two choices. Choice number one, remove her. Choice number two, reconcile and get over it. So what I did is that I said to myself, God, I need you to deal with that pain that I still have, because I'm still hurt, because she was supposed to be my sister, you know? But I got to remove her. I can't just be staring at her. She just can't be talking.
That's totally
you know.
fine.
And that was that. So when it comes to the algorithm, guard your ear gates, your eye gates. Watch how you are processing what you're looking at. And what I had to do was, and I guess you can control your algorithm. And I just deleted everything and everybody that was not conducive to what was what. I'm walking this way, and you said this and I didn't like that, so you got to go click. You know. And then Instagram has this thing where it says, do you want this person to be removed from following you as well? We won't let them know. And I was like, yes, actually, thank you for not telling on me, you know. And so when we finish, I want you to go on and see the amount that they make just to keep your attention. The amount of money that your attention is worth.
Wow.
Just your attention is worth some $1 billion. I can't remember the specific amount, and all you did was give them your time. They fighting for your time, and if you don't know how precious your time is, something that you spend, you can't get back.
Yeah, that's a whole episode. Because it's
You-
like it's planned to keep you scrolling. Like, this is their goal to keep you scrolling.
And on the point that you said about, like, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and like, people just consider that picture of you smiling as you're good. Like, it's true. Like, a lot of people replace actual real relationships and things that, you know, God calls us into community. God wants us to have that type of real relationship with people, talking and everything like that. People really replace that with social media, and it's really sad. It's really sad that it's gotten to that point. And I think that's what also leads to the loneliness and the depression. Because I think people replace a real relationship with liking something or sharing something. And it's like, that's not a real relationship. That's not a real community. Like, you might have a community online, but that's not a real type of, where there's like accountability, where there's prayer, like, you know, and even just hearing somebody pray for you can sometimes uplift you, like different things that we could only experience in person. and, you know, with actual real friendships, you know, people replace that with social media.
A lot of times we have conversations with people without them being there.
Wait,
If that makes, we have conversations with people without them being there. So one of the things that I struggle with is calling someone and saying, I need you because today is not a good day. So what I do is I think about how they would respond. And then I tell myself, they're only going to show up because I said I was in a bad place, but I want them to show up because they want to, not because I need them. You don't get to choose how a person shows up for you. You don't get to choose when they show up. You don't get to choose the fact that they showed up because you say. You don't get to choose or have a conversation with someone that's not there. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So one of the things with depression is just feeling like nobody cares, nobody hears you, nobody sees you. When you go on social media and you add a filter, I'm the filter queen. I love filters. Be like that sometimes. You add a filter, you smile like everything's okay. You post it, and now what you have is a quick fix to that loneliness that you feel. You have not start to deal with the thing that's inside of you that's bothering you. You have not given yourself a long-term fix. You gave yourself a popcorn fix. You want this microwave fix right now. You didn't put it in the oven and let it bake, you know? So what you did was is you posted this picture, you got these 100 likes and you feel good about yourself. And then what happens is that when the likes start die down, your emotions start to die down again. And now you need to post your next picture to get your next fix. That's what it's a consistent, it's a consistent struggle. It's a consistent cycle. Depression is it's a sensitive topic. It's a sensitive subject. Sometimes trying to uncover trauma makes you feel like you're going through the trauma all over again. Sometimes, talking about the molestation or, the different things, it can make you feel like it's happening all over again. And one thing about therapy is that you have to keep going back and you have to, you have
working
to keep,
on it.
You have to, I'm working on something about processing through the process. How you process through your process, it really makes a big difference. When you're going through a traumatic situation, the majority of the time you have self-defecating thoughts. You thinking that you're worthless, you thinking that you deserve it, you internalize, they did this to me because I deserved it, or I'm not good enough. And those are the things that we have to heal, not the trauma, because the trauma was real, the trauma was wrong. But how did you go through that trauma, and what things did you take from that you holding on to? You nursing it, you babying it. You don't want nobody to touch that. Just leave me over here with my self-hatred. I can love you, but let me hate me. I can show up for you and be consistent and loyal to you. Let me help you with your doctor's appointment, but I haven't been to the doctor in 2 years.
That part,
You know what I mean? So it's a touchy subject when you start talking about depression, but I believe that that's another reason why we can absent-minded, because you can click on one reel and be gone. You gone for hours.
And it
literally,
you like not even it plays on the mindlessness of what you're going through, and it makes you not have to be self-aware, right? Like you don't have to deal with what you're going through. You can you can be in that part and not deal with what you have to deal with. Like in digital minimalism, he was talking about the point of social media. Like if you have an account on any platform, what is your points of having an Instagram, a TikTok, If you don't define your point, you're just gonna be scrolling. You and that thumb are just gonna waste hours and hours. He's like, but if you're on Facebook for family, or if you're on Instagram for your business, or this, that, and the third, you can allot time to accomplish that goal. And that's it. It's not taking up all of your free time and making you feel depressed because, insert reason here. It's not, it's stealing all of the time that you can be thinking about yourself, being self-aware, like, you know,
being intentional about how you show up in the world. And it's a I said, God, you want me to ask them to do that? You want me because most of the time your purpose, whatever you struggle with the most is what normally your purpose is.
Ooh.
When you say you have an issue with being on time, you know, and that's something that you want to work on. You're struggling on it. You can't tell somebody how to be on time if you have not struggled with being on time. You can't tell somebody how hard it is to come back from a loss if you have not suffered a loss. So I'm not saying, so you know how you want somebody to talk to you about something that's been through something close to what you're going through. You want somebody to be able to minister to you like Miss Mika with with the babies and that type of stuff. I can't minister to a first time mom because I don't have children. I don't have living children right now. So it's like you whatever it is that you're struggling with, you have to be able to bless somebody with that. I believe that I say there's this thing I say, we're the blueprint to someone else's survival. So once we sit and we realize, okay, listen, I've been on social media for 5 hours, let me detach. Once you detach, now you got to look that stuff in the face. Whatever it was that you just try to disassociate from you, it's time to look at it. And then once you look at it, you go through it. You deal with it. It don't feel good. I can't stress that enough. It don't feel good, but one thing about it is that with God on your side, He left us a comforter, and it ain't nothing like it. It ain't nothing like the comforter.
Before we end anything, anybody else have anything else to say? Any extra thoughts?
I will say that, like, when you were just talking about like processing your process, it's beautiful also too when you look back at whatever stage you're at, just to see how God is like really molding your story. That's definitely a beautiful thing too, when you see how God really works everything for the good. It really does. And you could still be in your process, whatever stage, but there's some growth there. You could always look back and be like, yeah, I wasn't there 2 years ago.
And you see the purpose of the pain too. Like Andrea says, like what you're dealing with can be a blessing for somebody else.
Like I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. That's what we say all the time. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? So you're right about that. You look, oh, I almost died. Woo, child. I love those moments of reflection. As long as they good moments, not good moments like perfect, but you reflect in a way that, God, I thank you. Because it could have been, it should have been.
Right.
It might have been, but thank you because it wasn't.
Right. And those triggers don't trigger you as much anymore. Even with the triggers, you can see like, oh, I don't react the same.
My feelings can't just, take hold of me like that anymore.
Right. Exactly.
I kind of do want to leave, like, I don't think we need to vilify social media, right? Because we met you off social media. Like there are obviously good portions of it. I think like when you go there mindlessly and like take up most of your day, that's where like the enemy starts planting seeds of like, yeah, you ain't doing enough in your life, and look at these people happy people on vacation. Like, it'll even come to you like you're not even as Christian as the Christian followers you follow, girl.
Yeah.
Women's conference, like
especially your face.
So yeah, it does have its good parts. We're not vilifying.
Yeah, you can find community, find your home girls, find your tribe, all that. So just wanted to leave the verse that I wanted to leave with is Philippians 4 verse 8, taking inventory of our thoughts and like what we take in, like don't focus on what the enemy wants you to focus on, like all the bad thoughts. Take notice on like what's good, noble.
Think on things that are true. Think
all
on
that.
things that are good and noble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the scripture is. What are you saying? And that's think on things that it tells you what to think on. Think on things that are true, good, noble. It tells you what to ponder on. So as soon as you get that thought,
exactly, and you're more like
you get to
intentional about what you ruminate and think, and like let your mind go to. You know, you're more self-aware with it. I don't know. That's like my word for today.
Your thoughts come, but you choose which ones you entertain. So that's what Miss Vicky was trying to say.
Right. Thank you. I mean, like you said, like it all starts in the battle starts in your mind, right? Yeah. So once
that's a good that was a good word.
Yeah.
You just gave a word. Yeah.
Oh,
that's what you did. You gave a word. Look, and I just wanted to leave y'all. Look, you tried to slide. You should try to slide that one in there. You just came and gave a word. Watch how you thinking.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for talking with us. This was awesome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk too much on your platform. To talk too much on your platform. I appreciate it.
Don't diminish what you came here and provided to us. Like,
because I almost talked y'all ear off prior to the.
Oh yeah, it was gems off, right? The podcast. So many. I was like, no, let's record. No.
You guys, how to reach Andrea's podcast and on social media.
My Instagram is it's miss.turtle.dove.
Okay.
And there's a link to my podcast on my page, but it's also available, my Turtle Doves Asylum, on Anchor and Spotify.
Gotcha. All right, y'all check it out. If there's nothing else, thank you, Andrea. And this is A Word at the Table.